So listen, the first thing I want to share with you is this: nothing is wasted. Whatever difficult circumstance you are going through, God is already using it. God is moving. We are moving. It's day 7 of the Revelational Meditation Challenge. Listen, if you are with me, I hope God is giving you some answers. I hope God is speaking to you the way He is speaking to me. Today's scripture is James 1, verse 2 to 4. So, James 1, verse 2 to 4 reads, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Perseverance must finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking in anything." So, what this verse is basically saying, first of all, is that nothing is wasted, and that is the title of this message. Nothing is wasted. So, all the trials, this verse is saying it is because they develop our perseverance through testing our faith. The testing of your faith develops perseverance, because the moment you get through a trial, and then you trust in God and He takes you out of it, your level of perseverance also increases, because the moment you get into another difficult trial, you are ready. You are ready. Just like David was ready. After dealing with the lion and the bears protecting his sheep, he was ready for Goliath. So that's what perseverance does. And that's what the testing of our faith does to us. Right? And then it says, perseverance must finish its work so that you must be mature and complete. So listen, the first thing I want to share with you is this: nothing is wasted. Whatever difficult circumstance you are going through, God is already using it. Even though maybe He might not take you out of it, He will give you the grace to go through it. Right? So you need to understand that the only difference between His way of you handling it and your way of handling it is how you experience your trials and tribulations. God does not want you to have a difficult time. In fact, God, what He would love is for Him to just show you the picture of how this is going to turn out well. So the expectation really is that if you are going to go through the trial anyway, you have the power to decide how you will experience that trial, because it is guaranteed that nothing is wasted. God uses the testing of your faith to develop perseverance. So the trials of different kinds, and Jesus, when He left, He said, in the world you will have trouble. It's guaranteed. The trials will be there, because we live with people. We live in different situations, and circumstances that are difficult will always be there. But James is saying, you need to understand that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. So the more you are tested, the more you persevere, and the more you succeed through one issue after issue. Your perseverance, your level of perseverance, your level of endurance, it increases. Ne? Until you get to the level of maturity. And it says, perseverance must finish its work so that you may be mature and complete and not lacking in anything. We see that by the time David was king, after going through different trials and tribulations, because even Goliath was not the end of his trials. He had so many other trials coming. But he was already anointed. But God's work in him was not yet complete. His maturity was not yet at the level that God wanted, because he was a God anointed king. And so he was going to have to go through everything that God believes a great king is going to need to have in terms of being equipped for that role. And after persevering, he was mature. And perseverance finished its work, and he was mature and not lacking in anything. So listen, you are going to persevere. You are going to face difficult trials that you're going to need to persevere through. The only difference is how you experience it. And I'm going to talk about the Israelites again. Listen, the Israelites experienced their journey, the trials from going from Egypt to Canaan. They had a terrible, terrible experience to the point that they wanted to go back to Egypt. But listen, if you understand that maturity is coming, if you understand that completeness is coming, if you understand that this process God can use for your own good, whatever it is that you're going through, nothing is beyond the reach of God to use, to train you to that level of maturity that you need for your next assignment. So the challenge is these two perspectives. First of all, this verse is challenging us to shift from, I can't wait for this to be over. Oh my goodness, this is terrible. I can't wait for this to be over. And then, because when you can't wait for this to be over and something else comes, you will definitely go back to Egypt, because your level of endurance is still low. But then if you look at it from the perspective of, oh my goodness, I can't wait to see how God is just going to turn this around. I can't wait to get to that level of maturity and completeness that God has me waiting at the end of this assignment and the end of this trial. This will create tolerance for the process until you get to the destination. So it will equip you a change of attitude. Imagine if the Israelites every day they'll be talking about, oh my goodness, what are we going to do with the milk? I'm going to bath in milk. You know what? I'm going to brush my teeth with milk. The land of milk and honey. We've been told we're going to the land of milk and honey. You understand what I'm saying? So imagine after psyching themselves up, if they are faced with trials and tribulations, they don't deal with the trials and tribulations in the aspect of, oh my goodness, there it goes again. But they are going to go like, you know what? It's okay, because something better is coming. Let me go through this because something. So you might be in a place right now where you just feel like, you know what? I really need to do this so that I can be able to get a promotion. Maybe you are working a job, you want to get a promotion. Maybe you are working on a job, you want to get you start your own business. Maybe you have to go through a certain process. I need to go through these examinations so that I can be qualified for this particular issue. Whatever it is that you're enduring through right now, maybe it's maybe you're going through a difficult treatment process. Maybe it's cancer treatment. That can be really gruesome. But listen, I want to tell you that whatever difficult circumstance that you're going through, please, there is maturity at the end of this tunnel. God is going to use it. He is going to use it to equip you for your next assignment. In fact, this is an assignment itself, because it is an assignment to test your faith so that your perseverance can be developed. Understanding that God can use your circumstance for good helps you to not necessarily focus on the process and how difficult the process of getting there is, but to focus on where you are going, the destination, and the anticipation and motivation for getting to that destination, so that you can build momentum and joy and patience and peace in knowing that There's something great coming. And then the second thing that I want to talk about is the trials are God's investment in our faith. So as God tests our faith, He is investing in our faith as well. In the sense that after succeeding in one test, if He tests us and we succeed, we will believe, as soon as we get into our next trial, we will believe that we are able to overcome because of the evidence of what God did with us in the previous assignment. So whatever miracle that you have experienced in your life, whatever successes you have experienced in your life, just know that God is investing in your faith, because He is saying that you need this success in this assignment that you are in. You need to know that you can succeed in this small trial because there's a bigger trial that is coming. And I want you to be confident in the ability to lean on me and to trust in me and to have faith in me and my capability to get you out of every situation, to handhold you, to make your path straight, your crooked path straight. And then the last thing I want to talk about is, so listen, if it's investment, if an investment yields returns, the investors put more investment in it. So the more successes you have on your trials, the more your faith is tested and you succeed, the more investment that God can put in you. It means the bigger the assignments that you get. So you see someone else with a big assignment, you're like, oh my goodness, how did they get there? But yet you are complaining of your own journey, your own process. You do not see that God is working with you to get you to a bigger assignment. You are busy looking and you're thinking, oh my goodness, how come God gave them more responsibility? Listen, God is not going to give you more responsibility when you are looking next door and you are not taking care of the small trials, the small things that God has given into your hands. So work out whatever circumstance that comes your way with confidence, with faith, and trusting that, you know what, there's a bigger one coming. And the bigger the assignments that I overcome, the bigger the bigger the trials that I overcome, the bigger my faith in God is, the more inclined I am able to surrender, to be anchored on His ability to take me through any situation. And the more I can submit everything into His hands, and then He will give me more assignments. He will invest more in my faith, in my perseverance, in my ability to, pass each assignment. He will give me more and more. The trials get us to maturity and completion. So when we look at David, that example of David, he started with a small sheep, he fought a bear to protect the sheep. He fought a lion to protect the sheep. And he acknowledged that God was him throughout that process. So when Goliath came, a big assignment came, he leaned on, not on his understanding, but on the God that had seen him through, that had carried him through that trial, the previous trial. That is the evidence that he had, that led him believe that he could overcome a huge giant like Goliath. So how has God showed up in your life? What marks, what evidence, what miracles, what signs have there been in your life that God has showed you, that have prepared you for the trials that you are facing now? Please think about your past. Think about all the lions and the bears, how you overcame them. Just know that God was in it, and His capacity then to take you out of that situation is the same capacity that He can take you out of this particular situation. There is no capacity, there is no situation that is beyond God's ability to take you out of it. In fact, He might not even take you out of it, because sometimes He is working on you through that assignment.